You know that person who rarely posts anything? While everyone else is performing their life, they are just living it. And while you might think they're antisocial or hiding, recent research suggests they have figured out what the rest of us are only starting to realize. The less you perform online, the more real your life actually becomes. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you opened Instagram, took a photo, wrote a caption, then deleted it all without posting? That moment of hesitation tells you everything. In those few seconds, your brain ran a calculation. Will this get enough likes? Does this make me look interesting enough? Am I enough? A 2024 study using self-determination theory found that social media hijacks 3 fundamental human needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Every time you post, you are not sharing, you are auditioning. Between 75 and 90% of social media users are lurkers, people who consume but rarely create. And that word sounds creepy, right? A 2025 study found something fascinating. These so-called lurkers are not passive. They are protecting something. Research shows that when you combine pressure to post with fear of judgment and constant comparison, something breaks. The study found these forces create what they call autonomy frustration. Your sense of control over your own life gets hijacked by an algorithm. Think about this. There is a concept called self-determination theory that says humans thrive when they feel autonomous, when choices come from inside them, not from external pressure. Social media is the opposite. It is a validation economy where your worth gets measured in double taps. People who avoid posting are not rejecting connection. They are rejecting the terms. They are saying my confidence does not need to come from strangers on the internet. And here's what the data shows. People who rarely post often have what psychologists call internal validation. They draw confidence from their own values instead of visibility. They don't need likes to feel seen. 2024 study found that this internal locus of control is actually a marker of emotional intelligence, not social anxiety. But here's the trap you don't see coming. Even when you know social media is fake, your brain still falls for it. Just scrolling triggers automatic upward social comparison. You see someone's promotion, their engagement ring, their new apartment, and even though you know it's staged, the damage happens at a subconscious level. Your brain does not distinguish between performed life and real life. It just registers they have more than me. People who don't engage avoid this constant psychological assault. Not because they're weak, because they understand the game is rigged. Then there are people who watch YouTube for hours but won't touch Instagram or TikTok. They'll binge a 3-hour video essay but scroll past every photo dump. Why? Because YouTube doesn't demand performance from them. No one's tracking whether you like the video. No one's wondering why you haven't posted in 4 months. You're just learning, laughing, existing. All the entertainment, none of the anxiety. Here's another dimension. People who avoid social media tend to have fewer friends, but deeper relationships. A 2025 study confirmed what psychology has long suggested. Quality friendships predict happiness far better than quantity. 10 real conversations beat 1,000 reactions. Would you rather have 5 friends who know your biggest fear, or 500 people who liked a sunset photo? But not posting does not mean not caring. People who rarely post are often observant. They notice the shift in someone's posting frequency, the different tone in captions, the carefully constructed story that is slightly off. They are not checked out. They are paying close attention. They prefer understanding to performing, depth to noise. Psychologists distinguish between 2 types of self-awareness. Public self-consciousness is worrying about how others see you. Private self-consciousness is reflecting on your own thoughts. People who do not post lean toward the second one. Instead of asking how this will look, they ask how this feels. This is not overthinking. This is emotional intelligence. When you are not managing a public image, you have mental space for actual self-reflection. There's another layer here. A 2025 Harvard study found something remarkable. Young adults who took just a 1-week break from social media showed a 16% decrease in anxiety, a 25% decrease in depression, and a 14% decrease in insomnia. The researcher said it usually takes 8 to 12 weeks of intensive psychotherapy to see reductions like that. 1 week. And their screen time did not drop. They just stopped using social media specifically. Meanwhile, 40% of teens now say social media has a mostly negative impact on people their age. That's up from 32% just 3 years ago. 45% admit they spend too much time on it. Even the people still using it are starting to realize something is wrong. Here's what people fundamentally misunderstand. Choosing not to post is not about fear. It's about power. It's saying my private life is valuable enough that it does not need public consumption. Some experiences get worse when you perform them. That sunset hits different when you are not thinking about the caption. That conversation goes deeper when you are not mentally drafting the post. That achievement feels more satisfying when it is just yours. Recent research found that people who rarely post show higher levels of self-awareness and introspection. They are less affected by the emotional roller coaster of tying worth to likes. They are playing a completely different game, a longer one. But here's the paradox. The traits that make you avoid social media, control, introspection, internal validation, are exactly what social media claims to offer. Connection, community, self-expression. Social media promised to bring us together. Instead, it created a performance economy where authenticity became the rarest commodity, where silence became suspicious, where not posting became stranger than posting 3 times a day. The people who opt out aren't rejecting connection. They're rejecting the terms. They're saying, I'll connect on my terms, in real time, without the performance, without needing an audience to validate that the moment mattered. So here's what I want you to consider. What if the people who don't use social media aren't missing out? What if they figured it out first? What if choosing privacy over posts, depth over followers, being present over performing, isn't antisocial? What if it's the ultimate form of self-respect? Because nobody on their deathbed wishes they'd posted more. But plenty of people wish they'd lived more, felt more, connected more deeply with the people standing right in front of them. The quiet ones aren't hiding in the shadows. They're living in the light where the cameras can't reach, where life happens without needing documentation, where your worth isn't measured in metrics, where you exist for yourself, not for an audience. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more explorations into human behavior and the psychology behind our choices.